Welcome back to North of the Broad. I'm your host, Karen Wyman, coming to you from Higher Ground in Beaufort. I'm joined this afternoon by Clay Eminger from the Beaufort Water Search and Rescue. Welcome, Clay.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. I was not familiar with your organization before I learned that you were going to be a guest this afternoon. So there may be some people out there in Beaufort County who are not familiar with the Beaufort Water Search and Rescue. Could you give them a little information about your organization?
Sure. We were formed in 1975. We're part of Marine Rescue Squadrons of America. We're Squadron 4B. There are several other charters that are located anywhere from Tybee Island to Hardyville, several different areas around Georgia and South Carolina. We're all volunteer group.
Yeah, I saw that. I was thinking this is amazing that it's an all volunteer group.
Yes, ma'am. And we're on call 24/7, 365.
And there's about how many members in your group that volunteer?
Right now, approximately 38 is what we have on the rolls right now.
And so what area would you cover if there were to be an emergency and they needed your services? How far south and north would you go in order to provide help?
Gotcha. Currently, we serve from the tip of, I'd say the southern tip of Edisto Island, Edisto Beach, all the way to the southern tip of Hilton Head Island.
Wow.
And 3 miles offshore, and all the inland passages.
And so the primary launching spot for your organization is here in Beaufort?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, in Port Royal, it's at the Sands. That's where we primarily launch from. We will launch wherever necessary, depending on weather conditions and where the mission is, but normally our launch point is the Sands.
Wow, amazing. Since you're an all-volunteer organization, how do you receive funding? How do you operate? How do you make sure that you can cover all those overhead costs?
Several different ways. One is our golf tournament, which we just had. We have it every year. It's our St. Patty's Day golf tournament. I think this is our 14th year this year.
Wonderful.
We just did it last month.
Next year you'll have to come on and be a guest so that you can give a little shout out to the golf tournament.
Absolutely. That's our main fundraiser, and actually our only fundraiser for the year. We receive donations from the community with people that we help out. They'll give us charitable donations throughout, and some people just call up sometimes and want to donate to us, which is fine.
You'll take those too, right?
Oh, absolutely. But we rely heavily on donations, heavily.
Right. And so how's your organization or the group who's on call? I'm assuming there's some sort of rotation. How are you notified when you need to respond to a water emergency?
There's actually several different avenues that someone can get to us for help. One is the 911 system. There is 9 of us that carry pagers that the county will actually page us out for an emergency, a water emergency. The Coast Guard, you can hail them on Channel 16, and then they will get in contact with us. DNR, and the non-emergency number at dispatch, which is 524-2777, and then our number is 525-1969. That's the different avenues to get in touch with us.
Wow. So if someone wants to join your organization, how would they go about doing that, and what sort of background or credentialing do they need?
We meet the first Tuesday. Our business meeting is the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. at 817 Paris Avenue in Port Royal. We encourage people, if they want to join, to first call, give us a call at the 525-1969 number and let us talk to you. And then come check it out, check the meeting out, see if they like it, see if they fit with us, we fit with them. And we're always looking for skilled individuals. We prefer to have someone that's pretty familiar with the waterways,
of course.
Especially when we operate a lot at night. Probably about 75% of our missions are at night, so we really want some experienced people. But we will take people that are hard chargers and they want to help the community and they're dedicated to something. We absolutely will train them. So they can just give us a call, or they can visit our website at www.bwsar.org, and you can submit a message to us there. We can get in touch with you and we'll go from there.
Go from there, absolutely. So obviously, they wouldn't need your services here in Beaufort County if people knew all the right things to do when they were out in a boat and followed the safety guidelines, right? So do you have any tips for people? I mean, we're here in April, and we know that people have already been out on their boats, and it's going to get busier, particularly here in Beaufort as we get into Water Festival. But any tips for people to stay safe out there on the water? Sure.
There's a couple of different things. Like you mentioned, a lot of people have taken their maiden voyage for the season, as you were. But there's still some that haven't yet. And most of these boats will sit off season for months. First thing you do is go through that boat, check everything in it, and make sure nothing is expired, your fire extinguisher, your flares, check those, check your PFDs, your life preservers, make sure you have enough on board. They're serviceable, they're not torn, they're not ripped. Make sure they're good. I highly suggest that any vessel that's out on the water has a VHF radio on board, whether it be a one that's mounted or a handheld. If you lose, a handheld's preferred, because if you lose battery power, you lose your VHF. So a handheld VHF is pretty valuable out there, especially if you're out of cell phone range. Some people go offshore And once you get a certain mile offshore, you lose
Right,
cell
there's
phone
no-
towers. So I would suggest that. Two, if you're going to take a trip, let's say you're going to take a trip from here to Charleston, for instance, or Savannah or Tybee, or even from here to Hilton Head, let somebody else know you're going. Let them know, hey, I expect I'm going to be back at a certain time, and when you go past that time, you're not back, then maybe we need to check on you. You know, certain things like that. Just make sure you have your safety gear ready on your boat. That's very important.
Common sense.
Common sense, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on our show this afternoon. We appreciate what you and all of your fellow members do, volunteering your time to help those people out on the water. Hopefully most of your missions are successful ones. So thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back with our next guest on North of the Broad.